Shit. Welcome to my domain where I am the king. No, but seriously. Shit. It's a go. This nigga playing Beat Saber at 4 o'clock in the morning, bro. What is he doing? This shit. This makes this fucking fit nice, bro. It usually scoots off, but this shit is tight on my head. You got Sangoro. Sanzoro. How do you say it? I think it was Sangoro. Sanzoro or some shit. I don't know. You got Zoro. It gets the terps out of it. Now it's taste. There you go. This piece is so clean and clear until boom. All right. I feel nauseous from that Nick hit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just fucking around at this point. Trying to get the cap. All right. All those fucking tissues from blowing my nose and shit. Speaking of fucking streaming that shit on fucking Twitch. Not trying to plug, but that's what I was doing. Streaming that bitch on Twitch. Getting lit. We got the nectar collector, you already know. And then you got blue blueberry breeze. I remembered. We got breeze in this bitch. Where's my torch? Let's heat this bitch up. Let's not turn it upside down so I don't drip hot wax on me. You gotta heat this bitch up red hot. When it's red hot, you wait for it to cool. Then damn. God damn. Holy shit. What is this? I'm still waiting on this job to hit me back, bro. There we go. Hit my homeboy up. Asked him to ask about me joining this job. Not joining, getting hired onto this job because they disappeared. I don't know why. They just did. They did a background check. Sent me an email of my background check. It's clean and everything. Obviously, I didn't do anything. I already knew it would be clean. And that's just it. They just disappeared after that. HR just sent me the copy of that, and that's about it. That was on the 13th. That was 2 days ago. They said they would try to get me started in as of Wednesday. It is currently what? Yeah. It's Thursday turning into Friday now. Since it's 4 o'clock in the morning, it's Friday. It's about 2 days. On to the third day. Supposed to get started on Wednesday. Or not supposed to, that he was trying to see if I can get started by then. So I heard that. Now it's Friday. Right. It's whatever. I was told that on Tuesday. So Wednesday or Tuesday I went there, was told that. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, nothing. And now going on to Friday. So if I don't get anything today, then that's gonna be 3 days. If I don't get anything by the afternoon, I'm putting in more applications elsewhere. Because my ride isn't even a big fan of the distance anyway. But I'm gonna start looking for some AT&T jobs as well. Damn. That's what's up. I gotta keep going, putting in applications and shit. I can't just sit there and not work. Having no money sucks. I'm about to put some more applications in shit. Let's see how this looks. I'm about to look at this job distance, see if it's close. We're gonna put a save on this one. We're saving some. Damn. Nah, but I haven't even began to go in and like break down on what have recently fucking happened to me. That shit's wild, bro. So I worked at McDonald's before, like not before I just did up until recently for about 2 years, up damn near three, and I ended up quitting. I think one time during that, and then I came back. So I quit 2020, the beginning of 2022, or no, 2023. My bad. The beginning of 2023 this year. I quit. Ooh, it feels like someone just punched me in my fucking nose. So I quit at the beginning, like I think January 13th ish, beginning of the year this year, and I left for about a month. And what had happened of why I left is because my money, I guess I counted it wrong. Yeah, I counted it wrong by 1 week. Whoa, yeah, 1 week, and thought I was shorted money, but I guess I was not. It's just the hours didn't add up. I worked a shit ton of hours and did not get paid enough. So I'm like, okay, they shorted me about $200 from the looks of it. And that was not the case. So I'm going saying that I said that here and there while working on the premises so that some managers, some people would hear me. I believe I was crew member at the time. Yeah, I was crew member at the time. Crew trainer, sorry. Crew trainer at the time at nine something, going nine something an hour. 10, I think actually 10 something. 10 it was. So I got 10 10, and or was it 9 10? I got a 10 cent raise Yeah, no, it was $9 an hour, and then they gave me 10 cents as a raise. I'm like, I worked way harder than just a 10-cent raise. No, I would like that reevaluated. They reevaluated, upped it $1 and made it to $10. And so at around that time when I was ended up shorted or thought I was shorted $200 and was saying that, I was brought into the office for my drawer, like, because I would count money and take headset in the back, and I was just doing those 2 things by myself because I was fast enough to do it by myself, and the most reliable person to put back there, and they would always put me back there, and my drawer, my register ended up $50 short. A manager that I told I was shorted that much. She was like, "Ooh, I don't know. Go talk to the store manager." I was like, when I try and say I need to talk to her, she says, "Okay, I'll talk to you in a bit." And then she goes home on accident, which I could tell is accident sometimes, or she goes home on purpose, rushing out, so she doesn't have to talk to me, which you can tell it's obvious because she's looking over her shoulders and speed walking out. And some of the time she looked me in the eye and turned away real quick. So I'm like, I try whenever I do that, and that's what happens. So next morning, next day over, I come in. I'm told that I'm gonna need, or they're gonna need to talk to me, and I was like, okay. So I haven't clocked in yet. I'm still have a couple minutes before I have to. I usually go grab a drink and then I walk to the crew room, sit there, play games on my phone, or watch TikToks or Instagram or some shit like that. And I'm overhearing that I'm $50 short. I was like, "What?" I think that was by the time I clocked in and was at the front working, I was told I was $50 short, and the manager was telling me, it was the store manager. She said that once the store manager, or once the manager that I told I was shorted and was like, "Oh, go talk to the store manager." Her name's M. Let's call her M. No, fuck it. Let's call her Maria because that's her name. Maria. She told me that you were shorted money on your check and that she believes you would took the money as retaliation because we shorted you on your check. So here is your hours you worked and how we did not short you. And I was like, "What?" And I'd cleared I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" type. I was like, "What?" I looked at it and I said, "Okay, I could see y'all didn't short me, but because I was shorted doesn't mean Imma go and take the money out of retaliation." And she's like, "If you took it, just give it back. I won't be mad. I won't say anything." I'm like, "I didn't take it." And then she's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yes, I didn't take it." I go or she's like, "Okay." I go walk back to the front area to where I hand out the food and drinks in the window, the drive-through window, and then she she comes back over to work that area a little bit and overhears that I'm still talking about it, and I'm like, she said she thinks I stole $50 because that I thought they took money from my check when they didn't. And then went on to saying, not giving a fuck, she heard, and saying, "If I were to steal money, I would not steal just a portion of how much I'm missing. I would steal as much as I'm missing to get it back, or I would steal more, not only that much, not $50." I mean, $50 is still big when you think about it, but to me, money is just material. I don't give a fuck about $50, bro. I'm not gonna just rip it up type shit because I still need that shit. But I don't give a fuck. I don't. And so she went up to me and she said, "Listen, if you took it, just pay it back." I'm like, "No, I'm not paying it back. I didn't take it." I'm like, and she said, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm sure." She's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like shaking my head, like thinking actually, like you would actually think I would steal after I worked so hard. She's like, "We have cameras. I can go ahead and check the cameras." I was like, "Oh yes, check the cameras. Check the cameras." She was like, not expecting me to be so happy to check the cameras. 2, 3 days later, or at that time, I was like, "I wanna be present when you check the cameras as well." 2, 3 days later, during that time, I'm like, "Have you checked the cameras yet?" During the day or 2 later, she's like, "No, I haven't got the time. I'm too busy." I'm like, I said in my head, "If I stole $50 and you wanted it back so badly." Oh, she ended up calling the manager above her, trying to get me in trouble and scare me, and I'm like, "I don't care if she calls him." I said right next to her when she was still starting to call him on the phone and walked away a bit. I was like, "I don't care if she calls her. I didn't take that money. I ain't paying it back either." And so then I'm like, "Did you check it?" She's like, "No, I didn't have time. I was too busy." I'm like, "Bro." She's like, "I'll check it Monday." Monday came. I'm like, "Did you check it?" And she she was like she was like, uh, she was like, "Yes, I did." I was said, "And what did you see?" She said, "I saw nothing." I was like, "Oh, so you accused me of stealing $50 and Maria accused me of stealing $50 when I did not, and you proceeded to go ahead and continue to what is the word for it? Insinuate. Continue to insinuate I stole the money in front of all my coworkers. At least 5 people overheard it and shit. And the only people I was talking to about it was my friends that I knew would be keep quiet with it and keep it between me and them. But no, she went and did that. We have cameras and all that type of shit in front of 5 or 6 other people. And so I'm like, "Uh-huh, uh-huh." She's like she said she found nothing. I'm like, "Okay. Here's my 2 weeks." She left or she was like with the dumbfounded, like, type blank stare, and I'm like, here's my 2 weeks." And then I went and walked out. I ended up before that, I ended up saying, like, "I want an apologies from Maria." She's like, "For what?" I said, "Because you told me that she's the one that said I stole the money in the first place because I was short in money." She's like, "No, I never said that." I was like, "You literally just told me while we were standing right here in the office 2, 3 days ago." She's like, "I never said that." I'm like, "Okay." And that's when I did the 2 weeks, walked out, got back to work. I ended up only working 3 or 4 more days out of that 2 weeks, and then about that's it. I disappeared. I didn't disappear. I said, "Thank you for this was my last day." I finished that shift, and I said, "That was my last day. Thank you for the opportunity." Went worked Popeyes with an old manager that used to be at McDonald's. He seemed like he was gonna be cool. He wasn't. He really wasn't. Left that job, went to Jack in the Box. They had mouths on them. This one fucking store manager, she was a bitch. Say if you're like, okay, I'm gonna go do the fries. Okay, I'm gonna stock these cups. And then orders come, you stock the cups, but don't do the french fries, or you do vice versa. She's like, "Well, why didn't you do this? I need you to do this or some shit." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. Well, this needed to be done too." She's like, "Well," and then says something back, smart as fuck, and go have a comeback. She keep going, keeps it going. She wants the last word every single time. It got to the point to where I had to fucking go off. Like not give a fuck, sarcastic to the point where she like and looked at me like, I know you didn't. I would just keep working, not caring. It'd be awkward sometimes, but I go to put my 2 weeks in. She's like, no, you can't do that. You have to come in and write it. I'm like, I'm already coming in to work the shift today, but since I already told you through my voice, no, I don't have to. I'm not legally required to. It's just to be professional. She's like, yes, no, you have to. You have to write it. I'm like, no, I don't. I can just not write it. And then she was like, or you can just not come in and just quit now. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, I quit. She's like, okay, okay. End the call. I was like, I don't give a fuck. This one time during that Jack in the Box with the smart ass bitch, the smart mouth bitch, I got my first paper check from there. Like, that's all they did, paper checks. I got my first check from there. The place to cash it without catching a fee is all the way in like Houston while I was in League City. It was like an hour drive. It was an hour drive there and back type shit. And I had to clock in 5 minutes, but I needed to cash that check to pay bills at that time. I came back. I was late by like 5, 10-ish minutes, maybe. She was like, "You were just here to get your check. Why were you late?" I was like, "Well, I had to cash it, and y'all didn't tell me where the place was." She's like, "It's right there on the check." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I figured that out, but y'all didn't tell me it was an hour away." She's like, "Well, that's not on us." I'm like, "Yes, it is. You should have properly informed me the distance, and like you should have properly informed me that it was gonna be far, and proper like she should have properly trained me, and she should have properly told me how to do some stuff and showed me how to do some stuff instead of tossing me into it because she was doing that. I was like, you should have done this, and you should have informed me it was that far. How else would I know? I'm a new recruit." She was like, that bitch was stupid as fuck. But that's besides the point. All that happened in the span of a month, and maybe second going on to the second month, maybe probably 2 weeks. First check. Yeah, no, we got paid every week, I think, from Popeyes. So that explains how I had so much checks. So yeah, I got like 2 or 3 checks, and then on the next 2 weeks after Popeyes, I was working Jack in the Box. It was pretty cool there. It was pretty fun, other than the smart mouth. Um, so I worked like 2 weeks there, got a check. I think it was more than a month. I swear that shit must have been. It had to been like 2 months. It felt like it. I got like a shit ton of checks. I think like 2 checks from Jack in the Box, and it's like 2 weeks. It's bi-weekly at Jack in the Box, and it was every week from Popeyes, and I got like 4 checks there, or 3 checks there. I swear. But anyway, before that, before I ended up leaving in that span of the month, we were talking about me becoming a manager and getting $11 pay, and then I ended up quitting because during that two years before prior, I was like getting, okay, you can be a manager. Oh, maybe you're not ready. Oh, you can be a manager. Oh, maybe you're not ready. Oh, we're waiting on our nest though. Oh, we're waiting on your shirts. Oh, we're waiting on your hat. Oh, I don't know yet. I think you need a little more training. They kept doing that the whole 2 years, like every 2 months type shit. I swear. And we're leading me on to this point. I'm like dead to being happy towards having that role when I was excited to have it. And so we were talking about bumping it up to 11 pay. Ended up quitting, and then after all that Jack in the Box Popeye shit, I came back to McDonald's after 1 month. If I stayed and did not quit for 2 more months, I would have had my second 1 year's vacation, or my second year's 1 week vacation, like to claim. I would have had that 1 week vacation for working a year the second time. Damn, doesn't matter though. But that shit was fucking stupid, bro. I was promised $11 pay, but quit. Came back on, and before I got hired back on by the store manager, I said, "Okay, what is my pay going to be?" And she said, "Oh, we can hire you back on to how you were gonna be as a manager, $11." I was like, "Okay, $11. I'm getting hired back on in about April, April, I think, maybe May. I got rehired back in, and yeah, no, I think it was 2 months, 2 or 3 months I left. I got hired back on like around that time, and come to find out, that's like the third month of this year, 2023. second second or third month of 2023. Come to find out, from all the way the second or third month, all the way up to the current month, the 9th, September, they never bumped me up to $11 pay. They lied to me. And that's what began the whole fucking ordeal of messy bullshit and disorganization everywhere. I've noticed during that span of time here and there, I'm like, I swear, I should have had enough money to buy this, this, and this. Or next check over, I would be like, oh, okay, this is a good check. Okay, okay. Next check over, I swear I should have been able to buy two more things or at least have another $50. What happened? All that multiple times, I kept on questioning it, kept adding it up. It wouldn't add up some of the times. Then it would add up, and then it wouldn't, and then it would. It was weird. I finally figured it out. With my trash memory, I kept hopping between 10 how much I currently was last told of getting paid, 1025 ish, which I actually was getting paid at the time for 2 months, and then they bumped it up to 1050 without me knowing. And then yeah, and then had that to 1050 for at least 7 months, 2 months for 1025 when it should have been 11, and then 7 months of 1050 when it should have been 11. And that shit was stupid as fuck, bro. I'm now like I figured it out after I got my login to the app that shows me the hours worked, how much I should have got paid, how much my pay rate was. I went and checked that. I was like, "Oh, hell nah." I told the store manager, Nancy, and she was like, "Okay, this next check that you're about to get paid for in a couple of days, you're gonna get paid and compensated as if you worked $11 an hour." I was like, "Okay. Now what about all the other months you fucked up?" I literally said to her, "What about the other months you messed up?" She was like, I'll have to talk to Ernesto about that." During that time of when this was being said, she started to be moved to a different location and was not going to be working there anymore. This bitch stalled that whole week up until she left, and I think she left a day or two early even. She stalled that whole fucking 2 weeks to a week and didn't fix it. I need the original message of her messaging me, "Yes, we're gonna put you to $11 a pay," or they weren't gonna give it to me. I already knew it. I go to talk to the new store manager about it. See, she comes in, she's some big fat lady. She comes in and she's very assertive and dominant looking and feeling. And I'm just walking by. She's like, "Hey, hey, hey," to all the people, or "Hello." And then I just walk by her cold, not even caring. She didn't say hi to me. Otherwise, I would have been like, "Hey," and just kept walking. But I didn't care for her. I didn't know her. I'm here to work. I don't give a fuck. I'm my own main character type shit. I'm like, cool, and walk past. keep working. Don't say a word to her for the next couple of days of when she got transferred there. I guess she didn't like me because of it. And so um during the time I was doing shift lead stuff, running the floor, a manager did not feel like working and was too tired. She asked me to do it. I did it to the best of my abilities. Some things went wrong, as in I could not put the money in the Luminous, like the safety deposit to put all the money in for the bank to come and grab. I couldn't put that up into there because I didn't have a certain login or couldn't log in. She was like, "Oh, it's okay. Just go ahead and put it in the safe where you put the rest of the registers and shit like that." You're like, "Go ahead and put it in the safe and you can just go home." I was like, "Okay, thank you." Do that. Something like that happens again. I still either way, I still close it down. It was done all that I could, and it was done completely correctly for what I was handled or what had blocked my path and the obstacles that were put in my way because of what happened on that day. But I still done it pretty much good. I do say, at least I do say, and I was still closing down, running floors, telling people what to do, putting people certain places like do this, do this, do this. I'm gonna need you in kitchen. I'm gonna need you running front counter, back drive through type shit. I'm gonna need this clean, that clean, that clean type shit. And that's manager shit. I'm stating this because you're gonna see a little bit later in the story. And so I'm doing all that in the midst of it. Some people, because I joked around before becoming a manager, and was too lighthearted with them. Don't take me seriously when I became a manager. So I have some issues. But fast forward, this I one of the nights I'm closing, I had like 20 orders here on one screen for drive through. I had 20 orders on front counter, people getting pissed off. People, my crew members, my workers, coworkers, one person, two people, probably three maybe, but one person who's supposed to be working the front counter area, bagging the food to hand out, kept fucking up every order, everyone, every single one, and there were giant ones too. I was stressed. I was stressing, bro. That nigga, he was young, so I was not going hard on him. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need you there. He was fucking up there. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna need you there. Fucking up there. I'm like, all right, get your ass on the lane. I don't need you touching shit. Don't fuck up the orders. Because if you fuck up the orders when all you have to do is listen and click, I was actually gonna say something to him. Like, bro, come on, pay attention. I had like 60 nuggets wasted, handed out wrong, had to remake. Kitchen. Ah, come on. Oh, I'm not doing it. Or this is the last time. Or come on, Giovanni. They were getting pissed at me because my crew was messing up. They were getting mad at me. I had to move some people around. It got a little better, but only because I did the forbidden that you are not allowed to do. I closed the lobby so that whoever was remaining on the inside could finish eating, leave, but anyone coming out from the outside could not enter. And I knew I couldn't do that and was not supposed to do that. But what's better? Losing money, losing loads of money from unhappy customers and the line taking too long, and losing money from wasted food, or you minimize the damage and conserve the casualties to a minimum. So I close the lobby, keep people from coming in so I can finish the orders that's in, work on the drive through. Someone snitched. New store manager calls. She told me to open it. Do not do it again. Next day over, I come back in, or she told me to, oh, yeah, she told me to open it, not to do it again. Next day over, I come back in. Oh, so who when she called my not my homeboy. She called someone, a manager I'm semi cool with, and she was like, "Who closed the lobby?" I think I didn't hear it because he had the phone. I just heard. I just saw him. I look up when he's on the phone. He turned to me like this. He was like slow, like Giovanni, in a reluctant, quietish, like Giovanni. I could still hear him, and he knew it. He was just like, had nothing to do. He had nothing he could do. Hand me the no, he didn't hand me the phone, actually. He kept the phone, and he told me Carmela said to open the lobby and do not do it again. Next day over, I come in. I'm thinking it's all done dealt. I'm like, okay, I won't do it again, type shit. And I'm thinking it's already finished and done, like I wasn't gonna do it. And next day over, I come in. She goes talking, and she says, "When you clock in, I need to talk to you." Or she tries to talk to me when I'm not clocked in, and then she's like, "I need to talk to you." I'm like, "Okay, I'll come in when I'm clocked in." And I go sit down for like a minute or two, maybe 3. Then once it's my time to clock in, I clock in. I go to her. She's like, "Okay, so when you close the lobby." Oh, I before that, I ended up telling her about my situation with the other store manager and the fucked up pay rate and all that. But back to it. She was like, "Okay, for when you close the lobby, if you do that again, you are gonna be terminated from working from this company ever again." And I was like, I just looked at her like this, okay. And she looked like she got a little like really that I wasn't really phased. And then she was like, "Now sign this paper stating, like, it's signing the paper that basically says, yes, I'm guilty. That's what I did. I admit it." And I admitted it, and I wrote a reason because 'cause I'm not gonna leave that shit blank. She told me just to write and sign it. That's it. I didn't need to fill out the reason. And I'm like, "No, you're not about to leave that shit blank and make me look bad." So, I wrote it out and said, "Orders were getting messed up. People were angry. I minimized the casualties." I This is me summing it up. This is not what I said, but I basically put, like, I minimized the casualties, I minimized waste. What I did got us down and got us back on track, and it will not happen again, but it did help, and I was very stressed and needed still in training, and then I signed it. Then I'd go to the back to check. I think I went to the back to check the schedule, or when I was sitting in the back before I clocked in and before she talked to me, I saw the schedule, but she fucked up my schedule, like, because she came on, she didn't quite know my schedule hours, I guess. So she's like, "Okay, let's put him here, 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 up there, down, everywhere." I'm like, "No, the fuck you don't." And make me sign that note and everything, disciplinary action type shit. I was like, "Okay, no, the fuck you don't. You're not fucking with my schedule, bitch. If you want to be a bitch to me, I'm gonna be a bitch to you." And I put it back onto how it's supposed to be. I told her, "This is wrong. This is wrong. I'm not supposed to be off on this day, and this day is supposed to be only off on these 2 days, not these 2 days. I can't have those off and come in on those days. They have to be set right there. They're put there for a reason." She's like, "Okay, okay, tell me it again." She goes, "Enters it on the computer. It's supposed to the computer, it saves it so that you don't have to modify it ever again unless you go in yourself. It remembers it." And so she's like, "Okay, tell me it again." I go and I'm like, "Okay, as usual, I'm supposed to have this and as I'm going like as usual, I'm supposed to work Monday, off Tuesday, work Wednesday. I'm like, as I'm saying that, I'm like, as usual, work Monday, and then she cuts me off like, I don't know, as usual, getting smart with a snappy ass tone. I'm like, I said in my head, I didn't literally mean it. That's just me saying. And I was like, okay, as usual, again on accident. I'm like, Monday I work, Tuesday I don't. And then she was like, okay, what day or what time? I'm like, 2 to 10 or 4 to 12. She's like, okay, Tuesday. I'm like, I just said off. And then she's like, okay, Wednesday. I'm like it was like before. And she's like, I just came here. I don't know what before. I'm like, I mean like before, as in 2 to 10 and 4 to 12, like before what I just told you. She's like, okay, okay, okay. Like cutting me off in the middle of me saying that. And it's like Thursday. I'm like, off like a smart ass. And then she's like, okay. I'm like, Friday, as usual. And then she's like, I don't know as usual. I'm like, I just told you 2 to 10, 4 to 12. Anything before or between there. That's what I meant by as usual. That's what I mean. We just did this. And then she goes, put it. She's like, and this. And I'm like, 2 to 10, 4 to 12. And this, 2 to 10, 4 to 12. And she's like, okay. I go, I go to work. I think next week over, the schedule was fucked up again, and I had 3 days off. The times were messed up and unfavorable, and was going back. I went and ooh, I don't quite remember this because I have shitty memory, but this part pissed me the fuck off, bro. Let me heat this bitch up. But um, she fucked it up again, and that dried the fuck out of my throat. And I go over it with it again. And she was like, "Oh, the labor's too high." When I had 3 days off, when I had 3 days off, and I thought she fucked it up. I was like, again, I'm supposed to have only 2 days off, not three, because I don't know how that type of shit works. I didn't realize you're not entitled. They'll have only 2 days. They can give you however much they want to. I didn't know that quite at the time. But now I'm getting the grasp of it. And she was like, "No, the labor's high." I'm like, "Okay, uh-huh." I noticed the week before that she came in on days off she was not supposed to be in that whole week. She worked basically that whole week, getting extra hours, and she was clocked in. I watched. I read the name. She's not slick. And then especially on days when she didn't have to be there and it was kinda slow. I'm like, "Fuck you doing here? I don't wanna see you." And in that span, 2 people had quit because once she came on, it wasn't enough pay and type shit, and they quit, and they were 2 people, 3 people, I think, and that were at least averaging 40 hours. One of them I know for sure got kept averaging way over 40 hours, like 42, some shit, every week, by the way, and they quit. Another person who averaged around that quit. Another person who averaged half that quit. So there was a shit ton of hours in labor freed up. She didn't take them all. I know she didn't take them all. So I went go back look at the schedule after she said labor's too high and notice there's less people and shit and the hours is gone down if anything. Labor should definitely have gone down if anything. I'm like, yeah, bitch, you ain't slick. You're targeting me now. I know you targeting me because at the time of the disciplinary action, the note, I was like, okay, what is going to be done for the money that I told you about? I forgot to say this because this was an important part and why I got to that part so quickly. But she was giving me the note, and I was like, okay, what are y'all doing for that money for the pay rate? She was like, oh, for that, you closed the lobby. Why should we pay you that money? I was like, because I don't work for free and y'all need to pay me that money. I came to you professionally and came to talk it out with you like a professional grown adult instead of going the other route, which I, or instead of I could have, or I can and will go and get a lawyer and sue y'all to get y'all and get my money back and or more. And once I said that, she was like an immediate flicking mood change. And I was like, "So what is gonna happen?" And she was like, "I'll talk to my supervisor," and put on a fake smile and everything type shit. I was like, "Okay, I'm getting back to work now," and walked the fuck out. Exactly like that, said like that, and walked the fuck out. Slay. No. And so I could tell because I did that, she was kind of targeting me. I asked for the manager above her, the person, the supervisor. I asked for her number. She's like, "Oh no, I can't give you it." I'm like, "Uh huh. Why not?" She's like, "It's her number. I can't give out her number. I can't give out numbers like that." I'm like, "Bullshit, bullshit." The last store manager did and is allowed to, and so I'm like, okay. I go ask around to other people for numbers or for her number here and there on a different day, the next day over, next 2 days over or some shit. Didn't ever get it. But walk out and it was clear she was trying to keep me from talking to her because I'm doing this after I said like okay and walked out type shit. And one day the supervisor's there. They're talking in the office. I need to talk to them. I don't need the supervisor to walk and go without me talking to her, and didn't want to miss the opportunity because I don't know when she would have been back. This fucking gay manager that I fucking hate because he's such a dick named Vladimir. He fucking I was like, "Can I go talk to them? It's about something important, and I really need to talk to them." And the line's slow. Someone can cover me. It was like 1 or 2 orders. That's it. And he was like, no, you can talk to them later." I'm like, I'm not about to have this leave. I have them leave. No, he said, "No, you can talk to them later. They're talking in the office right now." Like, he said, "They're talking in the office right now. You can talk to them later." And I was like, "Huh, okay." And then I walked and I'm like, "I'm gonna go talk to him." And then I walked straight down the aisle to go walk room. I guess he was like, "Who the fuck do you think he is?" Not listening. But I'm like, "No, I'm not missing this opportunity." So I go to ask to speak with her when she's done. And when I do that, I could tell the store manager was like, oh, cautious, wary, like, and let's see, foggy at that point. She's like, I think she's like, yeah, okay, I'll come get you. I'll come talk to you in a second. I was like, okay. I go walk back to my station, and he was like, If I tell you no, that means no. We had orders. I'm like, we only have 1 or 2 orders, and I know you're more than capable of handling it. And he's like, yeah, but I told you no, and that means no. I'm like, okay, okay. I'm like, I didn't care. Okay. And yeah, he was a little butthurt over that shit. She ended up coming and talking to me. I can't remember if she was there. No, yeah. I said when I asked her if I could talk to her, I was like, "Can I talk to you in private?" I specifically looked over at Carmen, the store manager, and I was like, "Can I talk to you in private?" She ended up taking me in the lobby. I told her what was happening, what the store manager said, like, "Why should we pay you? You closed the lobby." And why, and then I told her why I closed the lobby and how it helped and what it did, and then I was like, "Yeah, I know I shouldn't have I know I shouldn't have done it, but I was very stressed and anxious at the time, and it really helped me and helped the whole service in general, and everyone kept messing up and creating a lot of waste. I didn't want to get in trouble through waste, so I took that option and that I was not going to do it again." She was like, "Okay, well, for that situation, I don't know why she told you that because she has no control over that, and neither do I. That's to my supervising." I was like, "Okay." She was like, "I'll let them know, but do you have the original message of her saying that she'll pay you $11 when you're rehired?" I was like, "No, my messages were deleted because it was so far back." She was like, I still have messages from 2019." I was like, "Yeah, you do," but I went and pulled it up and like I don't, showing that the chat stopped at a certain point a couple months back. And she was like, "I'll talk to my supervisor about it." Like, she didn't quite believe it. But the truth is, I think I did have the message. It's just I use a temporary at the time I used the temporary Wi-Fi number because my mom was being a bitch and cutting my shit on and off, all because she wanted to talk shit, and then I would talk shit back. So she's like, "Oh, really? You got something to say? Turn off." That was her go-to. So that's why when I got this job, start paying my own shit, she ain't touched that minute. But at the time she would do that, I had a Wi-Fi number that had only Wi-Fi, and you would have to text every or at least once a week. I believe it was a week or 2 weeks, once every 2 weeks or so, or you lose your number. Crack my elbow. Ooh. And that app is called Text Now. Loads of people definitely heard of it. But but so I had like spent like 2 or 3 different phones. I don't know where this other one is. Like I had that one one that's so shattered or not shattered, but it's like cracked like a lot. I dropped that hoe on the bank of a pond. That shit got sand all on it in it. It was like buried. It was in the ports and shit. Some liquid in there, some water. That shit was old. It was very slow and processed shit too slow. The sand, or I laid it. No, I didn't lay it in water. My sister, my second oldest sister, I get my phone to talk to my mom. She got pissed off at my mom and decided to throw it down on the table, like not giving a fuck. Threw it down. It didn't have a case or anything either. Pissed me off. Kind of scratched the camera because it had the camera right on the top, pointed or bumped out. So it fucked up the camera eventually because that wears on it, on the lens and shit. And when she did that, I didn't get to it and notice she was done with the phone call till like a minute or two later. And where she had put that at, and because the power button is right underneath the camera and shit, there was water on the counter and it was on the port. Or it wasn't on the port, it was on the thing of the button. It was in it. So it fucked up the power button, so I couldn't ever turn it back on and off. So once it shut down until the power button decided to start working randomly again. So at times I would have no phone for like a couple of days until the power button just randomly miraculously start working. Or I would just push that bitch hella hard trying to get that bitch to work. Some of the times it would work. I think it was corroded and the corrosion wasn't sending the signal like through that shit. When I would press it, that's what was happening. But I know how to clean and do that shit in the phone because it's a complicated, weird phone. Like once you take it off, like the back off and shit. But that fucked up the phone. So I couldn't get the number. I can't get the original text off that phone if it is on that phone. I don't know if it is. And even if it is, I already lost that number because I haven't touched that phone in like 2, 3 years, four, 4 years. I got another phone that I used as well. That one don't have it on that, and I lost the number. I lost my number as well on there. I don't see the text on the actual number messages where I have to pay a phone bill, and I don't see it on the free app text now. So I can't find the original text to prove that she said she would pay me $11. I had a screenshot of it before I came on and was hired because she was bullshitting and maybe, maybe not, maybe not with some shit. So I was like, no, you're not about to do this, which I was right to screenshot it. But eventually, after working there after a couple months without noticing that they fucked up my pay rate, I ended up deleting the screenshot of the message. Dumb of me. Very dumb of me. Because I thought it was already a couple months in. I didn't need it. I was wrong. So I couldn't even get that. I went through the gallery looking for the thing, yeah, everything. I even went through Google Photos, backups. I didn't go through the backup actually. I'm gonna go check that in a bit. I went through Google Photos. I went to the SD card on that bitch. No, none on that screenshot of her saying it. I go, I'm trying to call her. As of recent time, I've been trying to call her. She wasn't answering. Eventually, she answered. I was like, okay, can you tell them? She was like, yeah, I already told them. I just told them not too long ago. She didn't quite say what day or some shit, but from how what she was saying is like she just told them within the week, that same week. And I was like, okay, can you also text me saying yes, that is indeed what happened, so I can have some backup? She was like, yes, yes, okay, and then ended the call like that. I was like, she's not gonna text me. She was rushing me off the call. She's not gonna text me. 5 minutes later, no text. 20 minutes later, no text. 30 minutes later, no text. As in like 5 minutes, no text. Another 5 minutes equaling to 10, still no text. A total of 30 minutes. I got no text. At that point, I'm like, yep, I knew it. Days later, still no text. I never got that text. So I recently talked to them a couple days ago, sat down. They were like, so I talked, this old supervisor was like, the new supervisor called the old supervisor who was also moved along with her. I'm not sure if the same place. But he was like, "Okay, so I talked with Nancy and she said she never promised you that." I was like, "Yes, she did." And then it got to the point to where my mom was, cuz I brought my mom there, cuz I don't know much stuff about this shit. So I was like, "You know what? I'll unleash the Kraken." And she's like a Karen, so I was like, "You enjoy that shit. You enjoy that shit." I caught this bitch getting smart too. This store this store manager, the current one, I caught her getting smart. She was talking mad shit. I went in there to ask for my payment stubs as of this recent check that I last received after quitting again because she was targeting me and harassing me while I was trying to work. I ended up quitting because of it, and I lost access to my app to check my pay. And then I look at how much I got paid, and I'm missing like $400. I go up there, I'm like, "I need my last couple hours, my payment stubs, like, printed out for me and given to me." She was like, "I can't do that." I was like, "Why not?" She's like, I can't. They took you out the system. I'm like, Well, my pay was messed up. I'm missing $400. She was like, uh, I can go check your hours. Let me go check your thing real quick. I'm like, I said in my head, I thought you couldn't do that. I'm like, okay, please. She go check. She grabbed. I said I needed 3 weeks worth. I needed the last 2 weeks before, and then I needed that 1 week or less than a week that I ended up working and then quitting. She only printed that less than a week, not the other 2 weeks. I did say pin in that. I did say I needed those 3 weeks, 2 weeks before. Put a pin on that, and this half a week that I worked. She gets that half a week, brings it back, and then I go. I'm like, thank you. I go to walk away. She made me wait like 20, 30 minutes next time I came in. I go check, look at it. I'm like, this is not the right ones. I need the other 2 weeks as well. I'm like, it's whatever. My mom's like, no, go back in and get it. I'm like, whatever. Go back in. I stand there at the counter for like 10 minutes. Meanwhile, she's looking at me, looking away quick. Like, what does he want? Maybe if I ignore him, he'll go away type shit. Until eventually she came here. It was like, what do you need? I'm like, I need the other 2 weeks. She's like, oh, I can't do that. I'm too busy right now. Screen's full. I'm like, okay, I'll wait. She's like, I'm waiting for someone to get off break. Uh, or I'm waiting for someone to get off break right now. It's too busy. I'm like, okay, I'll wait. I'm standing at the counter, right, just standing up. And she's like, okay, go sit down, telling me to go sit down in a demanding tone. I was like, no, I'm good. I'll wait right here. And I leaned over and put my arms on it and stood there. She was like, okay. And then walked away. Like she stood there challenging me with her eyes until she like and gave up and was like, okay, and walked away. I just when she was challenging me, I was just like and looked and stared right back at her, not giving a fuck. Like I ain't scared of you, bitch. I don't work for you anymore. We're on even grounds. Always been really. And I wasn't getting smart with her. I wasn't getting attitude. I was being polite-ish, like smiley tone, happy with her and everything. And this bitch still wanna fuck with me. She made me wait a while. During that, I recorded her getting smart. I recorded towards the end, her getting smart. She kept being like, I really don't have time. I really don't have time. Come in Monday. I'm like, nah, I need it today. She kept like all through the span of 30 minutes kept coming back like, I really don't have time. And eventually it got to the point where she had no orders on screen, no customers to handle. And I'm like, okay, you don't have any orders now. Can you please go get it? I said, please. And she was like, no, I'm running my floor. I'm like, oh, you're running your floor? It wasn't her floor. It was another manager's floor. I'm like, okay. Stood there waiting another couple minutes or like a minute or two until my mom just like, or she goes at it with me and my mom basically. She was stupid.
Carmen, since you have no orders, can you get it now, please? No, because I can leave my floor. You're running your floor? Yes. This is what I'm telling you. You can come in Monday. Okay. You can't print a paper. It takes 2 seconds. Doesn't take me 2 seconds because I need to log in. He knows how long it takes for logging.
She gets smart and says he knows how long it takes to log in. She got smart with my mom and said he knows how long it takes to log in. It literally takes not 2 seconds. She's right, not 2 seconds. 5. Barely. You just put I'm not gonna say the login, but you just put letters, like about 5, 6 letters, a slash, another letter, and then a combination of numbers, and then you put your password that you put down, and that's it. It's it's like 3 or 4, maybe 5 numbers at the end of the username, and then your password. It doesn't take long.
You can come in Monday. Okay. You can't print a paper. It takes 2 seconds. Doesn't take me 2 seconds because I need to log in. He knows how long it takes for logging. I mean, it should have been right at the beginning.
Oh, I get it quickly.
Okay, but he don't tell me the beginning.
I did tell her at the
I
beginning.
did tell you at the beginning.
3 weeks. First 2.
He knows when he worked too. Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna believe me. We're not done. I'm gonna talk.
She walked away
Okay,
like
you can talk to her. All right, thank you.
About the targeting too.
All right, thank you.
I am.
I recorded that shit too. That's wild. Oh, I get it quickly.
Okay, but he don't tell.
What's the address for this McDonald's corporation where you report for?
I got it. We're trying to call places because she was refusing to give the store manager's number. After this, we were trying to get the store manager's number. We could not get it. Get it. People were refusing to give it, or she was refusing to give it. We called some HR. They didn't know how to get it. We called another place. They were like, "Oh, to put a complaint in, you gotta call this place." We're like, "Okay." We called that place that they gave us a number to. They're like, "Oh, we can't take those kind of complaints. We don't take complaints from those type of owners of a business, or if they're corporate or if they're franchise." That would be the other number that we just called off of. And then we're like, okay, called. And then they're like, oh, we don't take those complaints. We can go, that would be this number. And then that's when we caught on. We're like, okay, well, we just called that number. They said you did. They're like, okay, well, no, we don't. I can assure you this number takes it. We call back. They're like, no, 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 no. Back and forth. Eventually, we got a supervisor. And that supervisor this guy was getting smart. And then my mom was like, okay, can we get a supervisor? And he was like, okay. When I went on that short break to check the guidelines, I went over it with the supervisor. You will get the same answer. He said something like that, like you'll get. That's what my supervisor said, and my mom was like, "Okay, cool. Can I still get a supervisor?" That supervisor gets smart.
League City.
31. Continue. You were saying League City what?
League City, Texas 77573.
That's 3140 Gulf Freeway South. That's in Lake City, Texas, 77573.
That's
Is that
correct.
correct?
Yes, and it's GULF for golf.
Let's document that here. One moment. Let's read some information. One moment. I want to thank you for bringing this matter to our attention. The location you have identified is a McDonald's Corporation owned or managed location.
I just did this.
Okay.
I just did this. It is not a corporate office. And when I call the number you're getting ready to give me, she's telling me it's a franchise. And it is definitely a franchise owned McDonald's. Trust me.
What's the number they gave you?
Who was the other number? Let me see. 800-261-9827. Yeah, you want to call on three-way? We can call on three-way, and you can see. They're going to direct me back to you. And this is a franchise location.
Just providing you with the details that I have available to me. You confirm how were you directed to this hotline?
How was I directed to it? I called corporate office of McDonald's in Chicago, Illinois, and they told me that all their complaints on this level are handled through your company and to contact you. And so I've contacted.
And what's your relationship to McDonald's? Thank you for that. And what is your relationship to McDonald's?
Employee.
Allow me 1 moment to review some of the company's guidelines. Stay on the line, please.
Are you not franchise owned by?
Or to continue. Franchise locations only. It's franchise.
Let's hear it. When does this guy speak?
Thank you for your patience.
There we go.
Yes.
So I did confirm the details that I have here. What I have concluded is that this hotline that you've contacted is for the franchise locations only. It's been advised that you will need to reach out to the McDonald's Corporation hotline. That's the number that I was going to provide you to complete or to continue.
Okay, I'll call them. Are you a franchise or are you? Do you know?
It's franchise owned by Robert Flores.
It's franchise owned by Robert Flores.
Sorry, so do you need the number? Do you have that already?
He's ignoring my mom.
Are you not listening to me? Let me say this again. Robert Flores is the franchise owner.
He's deliberately ignoring my mother and being like, okay, and so do you need the number or not? Type shit. Like, he's like, do you need the number? Ignoring her. That's when she's like, okay, are you listening or not?
Are you not listening to me? Let me say this again. Robert Flores is the franchise owner of this location. It is a franchise. Let me talk to your supervisor, please.
Sure. The information I've provided to you has been confirmed by our supervisor.
That's fine. Let me talk to the supervisor.
The company's guidelines. No worries. So.
You tried to challenge it too. So, I recorded that. The shit that happened is so fucking stupid, bro. I just don't get it.
This is Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. My name is Tracy Peebles. We have called McDonald's corporate office, and we were directed to your company to call to file an ethnic violation and discrimination, as well as discrepancies in payroll complaint. I have called this number, and I was sent twice now over to another number who also answers the phone with the same exact company name as you guys, and they throw us back to this number saying that it is a franchise-owned one. When we call this number, they say, no, you got to call over here. It's corporate. Well, working there, you know it's franchise or not. This is definitely a franchise location. If you need to put me on hold and call them, I can give you the number. It is franchise-owned. So I don't know, but we're not getting anywhere because now I've called two numbers, twice each number, and every representative is throwing me back and forth to each other. We're not getting anywhere with the complaint. So again, I understand.
understand that, but we cannot take your report on this line. We are contractually obligated to follow the directions given to us by McDonald's, and on the franchise line, we are not able to take your report.
Okay, so
that's
you're
not something
franchise.
that we can do anything about.
You're franchise, right?
No, we're a third-party company. We're hired by McDonald's to document concerns for them, and they have specific instructions in their programs that we are contractually obligated to follow.
Okay, I understand that, but what I'm asking you is you take complaints for franchise locations, correct?
You would have to reach out to your local management to figure out what the hotline number is. We don't have that information. We're a third-party company.
They're refusing.
But we are
required.
We're required to follow the directions in our program.
I understand that, but you're also supposed to take complaints for franchise, correct?
Only the ones that are listed in our program, and your location is not listed in our program.
Just say that. Don't say it's a corporate, we can't take the complaint. Say we can only take some for limited amounts that were approved. Nobody said that until you. So maybe they need to be trained to say the right thing. Then we could have alleviated all this. Don't say it's a corporate, we can't take it.
I hope you have a wonderful night.
Can we get a good number?
Yeah.
Can we get the right number at least?
She doesn't do that. I'm gonna get it.
Shit. Okay.
The only thing we didn't talk about is when you came back.
This is the old supervisor trying to say he did not say where I was getting my pay of 11. I understand that. It's just why was I closing the store if I wasn't a manager is what I'm getting at. If I wasn't trained properly and I wasn't trained into being a manager, why am I doing other manager duties? And I'm not being compensated for it. That's what I said. And I go on and say, if I'm not a manager and I did not meet the criteria of the training to get the capabilities of being a manager, and the responsibilities that I should be taking on should be the same as crew trainer as what I was before taking on, not management responsibilities. I should not have been closing stores. I should not have been counting registers. I should not have had a fingerprint to make shit free like only managers have. I shouldn't have a manager login of my own. I was like, why do I have all this if I was not a manager or told I would become a manager? She said I was a manager, and she said I would be hired back on as a manager with 11 pay. It got to the point where he just budges and okay. I think it's towards the end. I worked 3 weeks, so 2 weeks, and then about a week or a couple of days, and then I ended up. And when I went to go get another one, she's like, "No, I'm too busy." I waited there about 20, 30 minutes, and I waited for the whole thing because I know I can make sure I can get this correct and done 2-3 days ago. But now I'm back here 2-3 days later, and I'm still going through it. She's been very unprofessional and unhelpful, and she was this way before I quit. That's the reason why I quit. She's not fit for so many. She also got smart with me and my mom, and professionally, I reported that.
But I mean, and then, besides the payroll, there's the whole ethnic issue. Because, one should never have been declined to talk to the next in chain of command. And he has been trying to ask for the Cheryl's number and has been told no. Multiple times. This is his last shift here.
And then when he came back, and then he was already doing, I guess, the duties for the manager. So now, I guess that's what.
Yes, from when he came back to when he quit, which is September 1st.
From $10.50 to $11.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically what Ernesto is saying that he needs to be reimbursed from whenever he came back, not until September 1st because he was already getting paid sometime whenever they raised him 11.
Yeah. So
Oh, you
yeah.
were getting the 11.
Yeah.
So whenever.
That is the old supervisor saying that I will get my money back on how much I was getting 1050 for 7 months up until the seventh month. All that 7 months of 1050, I'm gonna get all that added up back to. I'm gonna put it like as if I was getting paid $11. They're gonna reimburse me all that money I missed out on. Now I don't know the guaranteed hours I got within that time. I'm sure I can add it up if I go through my calendar and look, but it doesn't account for if I missed a day or if I came in that day. So I would I wouldn't know if I'm getting the right accurate one. But all that shit happened. I'm now kind of sorting it out. I should be expecting it in direct deposit. Now I'm not sure when. Hopefully it's in the next 2 weeks. I do know that I am in need of that fucking money now, but it's not gonna come in time. I am negative on Cash App basically. I borrowed too much. One of the times it wasn't even for me. This nigga forgot money at home. Borrowed for him, still ain't got that shit back. But 30 I still need to pay back. 40 maybe. No, I think like, yeah, 30, 40, maybe 50. So that shit's ass. I need to give me another job. A good paying one. At least $10. At least, bro. Uh, my ass is tired. I'm gonna hop off. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna go to sleep. Give me at least 7 hours. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna try to hit the hell out of workouts today. I'm gonna wake up, probably do 10 to 25 push-ups, 25 push-ups. I'm gonna do something else, a little bit of lifting those things like this, and then I'm gonna go hit the bench on the garage. Until the next time, I'm gonna be uploading a stream for my Twitch a little bit later. I'm gonna be figuring out how to do that shit. And I hope I'm not playing music in it. Because if I am, then I'm gonna have to edit that. I hope I'm not. But I kind of hope that I am playing music because then that's gonna give me some ideas on editing it, or not ideas on editing it. I'm gonna have to edit it, and then I'm gonna start learning to edit. Ah, it's gonna come and go, or it's gonna go along as I go. We're gonna learn as I go, type shit. But until then, though, nah, we can't end it just like that, though. Actually, we gotta end it on a big ass hit. That's how everyone gotta fucking end. That's how everyone gotta end. Every stream, it always gotta be on a big ass hit. Now I'm gonna heat this bitch up to red. I'm gonna wait till I just start to see it not being red, as if like there's still a little bit to it, and I'm just gonna this whole fucking thing. And fuck it. I might even actually scoop up this rest of this wax shit in here from like 5 different fucking vape pens that are broken open. Or like not broken open, but opened. That's a piece of weed in there. That's a piece. I'm not sure how that piece of weed got in there. I'm not gonna lie. But it's like it's already smoked from a roach type shit. It's brown. But we gotta end that shit on a big hit. Wait till it's just still red. You know what? I kind of want to scoop this bitch up so I don't melt this cup because I already melted a hole in the side of it right here. You can kind of see that from when I was last dabbing on this bitch. I'm about to just scoop this fraction of the bitch up. Brother, this shit looks so fucking good. Oh my god. Yeah. Damn. Get the fattiest, loopiest, globbiest gloob. Oh my fucking god, bro. Tell me that don't look good. Tell me. Tell me that lie. Oh my god. I gotta take a picture of that bitch. Zoom in. There we go. Gloobsh. Mr. Glooberton. That ain't even it, too. There's still a lot more. Stop fucking with me. Ooh. The question is, should I like scrape it on the side into it, or should I scrape up more and just hit it off of this? I'm not gonna have any weed to smoke. This is all that I have of weed. Because all the money situation that I just explained the last. Damn, that's a lot of time I spent talking, I'm sure. But you gotta end it on a good hit. Let's scoop. Mixed. Mix that shit. They're different type of textures. So it's fucking collecting it and mixing it like it's two different like type of slime materials, some shit. Tell me a lie. Tell me your lie. Tell me your lie. Stop fucking with me. See that fatty? Covered the whole top. I was about to set this bitch down. I'm an idiot. Bro. Alright. Now I'm not sure how to fucking take a hit off this bitch. But we're gonna try. And you know I gotta record. I don't care about looking like a bitch. I'm gonna record me coughing my fucking ass off. As a matter of fact, there you go. We're gonna get that bad boy ready. Oh, I'm scared. I'm about to throw up. This is so fucking stupid. Let's just turn this bitch upside down to hold it. Or not. Because this bitch don't want to hold it. There we go. Alright. Let's try to take the nicest hit yet. No, this isn't gonna quite capture it. But we're gonna heat this bitch up. My forehead itch. Again, we're gonna wait till it's like red hot. Well, I don't have to wait till it's red hot now that I scooped it all together like that. Actually, now thinking about it, I could just hit it normally. You gotta heat this bitch up more so I can get some time to react. There we go. Ah, yeah, it's coming together. It's coming together. Now let's hit this bitch. Damn. Damn. Help me. I'm dying. You know that one meme? That's just funny as fuck. All right, we're done. We're done. All right. We're done. Oh, shit. All right. Oh, boy. That was ass. One more try. Oh, boy. Good enough.